For a long time, activities of the fifth columnist have been blamed for the intractable fight against insecurity in Nigeria. This may not be far-fetched. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has raided the Abuja home of the military contractor, and seized 175 million naira, $220,965, and a G-Wagon 2022 edition of a BMW and a Mercedes Benz cars from the house. The ICPC operatives also recovered customized mobile phones, several designer wristwatches, and some property documents during the raid. They also made some arrests. Oh, we love material things. Just look at the lineup. It would have further impoverished a lot of people, but an individual that has a contractor, that has a military contractor, you can just imagine. And they seized 175 million naira cash. 175, $220,965.
Convert that into naira.
Convert that to naira.
And see what it gives you.
A G-Wagon.
At whatever rate,
too. Yeah, 2022.
Whatever rate, even the lower rate, even the official rate.
We're just vain people. You know, this is somebody that is meant to procure something for the military and so that we assist our war against insurgency and banditry. Right now, look at this person is cashing out.
For me, this even explains one of the reasons why insecurity persists. If you make your money legitimately, if you like, go and build a mansion in the air. I mean, if you make money legitimately, you did business and you build mansions in the air, that's your problem. You know, nobody's going to bother you. Now, I remember that, was it last year, that the National Security Advisor, Monguno, said that much of the funds that were given to the military, you know, to fight insecurity could not be accounted for. He said that thing, and he said it, and it went into the air. Now, this man who allegedly had all of this, stole all of this, is just one out of many. We will never deal with insecurity in this country if we continue like this.
People will be feeding facts.
People are feeding. We will never, it's not a cause, it's a fact. If some monies have been allocated, okay, for equipment or whatever to be, you know, procured.
Any form of supply.
And then somebody is having all of this. 175 million naira, cash. And this kind of money, you won't find them in banks now. They won't, you see, cash, all of this. Why? So it's very, I think it's good that ICPC did this, but we need to go more after people. We need to hear more of this happening. And then we need to get to a point where we not hear this happening anymore. Meaning that it has stopped.
Another dimension is that if he gets a good lawyer, just look for one big senior advocate of Nigeria.
You can even hire 10. Sir.
Yeah, and
yes, you can hire 10.
Frustrate the whole thing.
Yes,
we might not get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, the point is that, well, I look at it from two angles. One is that, you know, in things about the military, sometimes certain operations may require the movement of cash. The movement of cash.
Of course, they're not even part of the TSA.
For certain
for this emergency, because of this war and everything.
Operations.
So
there may be the need to move, to do certain things with a large volume of cash. So to that extent, I may say, well, that play the devil's advocate. Maybe that cash was meant for the assignment given to him as a contractor. I don't know him and I don't have any business with that. But that is one side. But when you now add the wristwatches and the other branded items and the vehicles, then I now wonder,
2022 edition.
Was it that these things were going to be given to maybe bandits, you know, to stop their operations against the nation and all that? I don't know. But the thing is that the way these anti-graft agencies also even prosecute these things gives cause for worry. See, if somebody has such a large volume of cash outside the banking system, it will not, the laws are there, money laundering. That is clearly money laundering and a violation of relevant banking regulations. First of all, take that person to court for money laundering and tax evasion. How much tax has he paid on that money? Then you can get a conviction easily. First of all, so that the man, even if on the long run, is able to, assemble 200 senior advocates and all that. But at least you have succeeded in getting a conviction, or to one point, there is something at least, there is something for you to show that yes, we are working. But you just allow you just come, just tell us, regale us with stories about how you got this and all of that. But the low-hanging fruit of easy prosecution, you don't take advantage of it. I thought that somebody who has this kind of money outside the banking system, easily, you prosecute, you get him convicted. Then you can now continue with other aspects of the prosecution. But be that as it may, the other side of it is that, you see, the ICPC needs to tell Nigerians, when you say military contractor, it's just open. It is opaque. We don't know what you mean by military contractor. Was he supplying food to the military or kits or what? What was he doing for the military? What kind of military contractor was he? Because the next thing now is that this matter will be swept under the carpet and it will be thrown into a long prosecution. Then we'll not hear anything about it. What happened? Okay, what has happened to the money recovered in Ikoyi? The billions recovered in Ikoyi, what has happened to it? Here and there, there are some people from whom money was said to have been recovered. In the lifetime of this administration, what has happened to all that money? Where are those people? Why are they not in jail?
Jide, we are dealing with a complex situation here. Apart from praying that the war against insurgency, we are praying that it should be won. But at the same time, what we are dealing here is we have some vested interests, people benefiting from that war. Like these contractors, I don't know what this man is doing with $220,000, 175 million naira at home.
In worse cases than this, even in the life of this administration, if you recall, there was a director in one of the federal ministries that they found more than 100 flashy cars parked in his yard, including bulletproof jeeps, SUVs. They also found raw cash. So this one is even a child's play to that particular case that
I think we're having a problem with Jide's connection there. So Jide was even trying to say that,
He was even breaking it down.
this administration,
100 cars.
because, record is going to, we are going to keep tab of this. At the end of this administration, we'll remember that, look, under this same administration, an accountant general has bolted with 80 billion naira.
And of course, he's on bail right now.
Then
there was his predecessor. Don't forget, his predecessor. His predecessor was said to have negotiated a plea bargain. I saw him returning over 6 billion naira in this administration. And the man is walking the streets free.
there is too much of free money in this system, and we are saying that we are opponent with the economy. Now, the truth is this. I like the fact that you mentioned prosecution, the issue of at the level of prosecution also, the law enforcement agencies, the prosecuting agencies, they fumble a lot. The case of Andrew Yakubu is still fresh in the mind. We have cases where the judges will be teaching prosecution, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have, a lot of gaps. And smart senior advocate of Nigeria, we take advantage of the lacuna, you understand, the gaps in the prosecution's case. So this, you don't be surprised if this man, if at all is guilty, he can go scot-free. You can say that those they are gifts from his friends or whatever. You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
what the former CBN,
Yes,
Say that gift from his friends.
NNPC.
Okay, if they are
Andrew
gift from,
Yakubu.
if he says they are gift from his friends, and you cannot disprove that, so how are you going to commit the man to prison? You can't commit the man to prison. So we keep having these issues coming up because of lack of diligent prosecution, lack of diligent investigation, intelligent investigation. Sometimes I think they just do this for the camera, just make all the noise so that we know that they are working. We will only know that you work when you have successfully prosecuted cases like this. And then we see people going into prison. Because if it happened that this man actually spent money meant to fund project or whatever, or programs that will save lives, that means the blood of people that is dead is crying out. That's the truth of the matter. We can't be playing you want to bam bam with people's lives. No. We can't be doing that. It's like we forget. I think this life has become so cheap in this country that when we just don't care, we steal money meant to secure people's lives. We do all sorts of things, and people go scot-free. The only thing we reward in this country is corruption. Corruption is amply rewarded in this country.
Even you discovered that even generals are meant to be defending the country, territorial integrity. They are feeding fast from this.
Yeah, that has
we know the number of generals across
established tradition over the years
that they are under trial right now.
Yes, there's been an established tradition, and nothing will happen. This administration has less than a year to go. So will the incoming administration now gladly inherit these trials and now be running round and round with the myriad of problems facing this nation and now be running around? You see, it is unfortunate that we have turned this country into a joke. It won't take anything to stamp out corruption in this country. It won't. Just for those who are entrusted with the job to say no, just capital no, and things will begin to fall into place. It's not about having to, you won't even allow people to even have access to that kind of money. You won't, because that is why the security agencies are there. But what do we see? Somebody can have 100 cars in his house. Are you telling me that security agencies are not aware of these things, but they can track the movement of ordinary citizens, of journalists, of civil rights activists, but you cannot track when 100 vehicles are moving into one man's house? You can't track when billions of naira are being moved into one residence, being hidden somewhere. You can't track it. But you see, we just turn our country into a joke, and it's not fair.
Okay, let me take this call. Jason is calling us from Leeds in the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us, Jason.
Hello, Ayo, and good afternoon to everybody in the studio. Now, I just want to lay my voice very quickly on the issue of security in the country. I have to say, we in the diaspora, and I'm not talking only for myself, we are so concerned about the country. And as a former speaker did said, that it appears the government is actually not ready. Now, if they are really ready to resolve this issue, I'm quite confident that this would have become an history in our nation. Because when you look at it, it is unheard of. I remember there was a victim that said some time ago that they saw a helicopter above them. They can saw the helicopter, and the guy was so sure that the police can actually see them. So I don't understand why is it so difficult. And I remember the nation about what Abuja said during his life, that when insecurity is continued, it's obvious that the hand of government is in it. And exactly what's going on in the country. I'm not a fan of Buhari and a campaign for anybody to vote in back in 2015. I did say to a lot of people that it will be a failure to the nation, and that's exactly what's going on. Now, we can't say that a lot of money being allocated is still, this matter is still not being resolved. A gentleman said the security agents have been overwhelmed. I don't think they were overwhelmed. They are incompetent.
Thank you for your contribution, Jason, from Leeds in the United Kingdom. Jide, I'm sure Jide will want to answer the question I asked him last before the network went. Yes, Babajide, I was talking about these guys that are conniving, fifth columnists against, this war against terrorists. Is it there? Okay, Emeka, we won't stop talking about this. And this government, they came with, that mantra of fighting corruption.
Of course.
And we felt that considerably in the World Corruption Index, in, Nigeria, with this war we've been prosecuting, should have, dropped, at least made a kind of considerable progress. But I don't think so. When we look at the audacity of greed.
Yeah, what it shows is that the president is not really living true to his word. Doesn't really
care about, even behind the legacy, that truly had a 3-point agenda: security, to fight insecurity, fight corruption, and to build up the economy. On those 3 points, we've seen below, subpar performance. I mean, almost, the situation is bleak. So if people can still boldly steal money to the treasury and flaunt these things, because the obscene part of it is the way people flaunt these things. I mean, in your face.
That's what can
what can you do? Nothing will happen.
2022 G-Wagon.
Nothing will happen.
Mercedes
I mean, those vehicles, did they fly into his compound? They were driven into his compound, and people saw them wondering, wow, how is this big man? Man, wow, there's money in Nigeria. And the poor people are looking. Then somebody goes to steal a tuber of yam. You throw him into jail. You say because he was holding a penknife, that is an armed robber, you sentence him to death. Somebody steals some recharge cards or tins of milk, you will sentence that person to quickly. In fact, the prosecution will be so fast, you'll be wondering. But somebody whose hand was caught in the cookie jar with so much, that's with his hands on maybe about 20 cookies at the same time, you will still be fishing for evidence, looking for people who, and be bringing up technicalities. I think we need to ask ourselves, as Nigerians, a question. Do we really want this nation to survive, or we just want to bury this nation? Because the way these things are going, they make many Nigerians... Okay.